In the Name of Tradition and the Changing Paradigms of FGMC, a comprehensive study on female genital mutilation or cutting in Iran. Research by Kameel Ahmady and colleagues.
According to the World Health Organization's definition, female genital mutilation or cutting, FGMC, is all procedures involving partial or total removal of the female external genitalia or other injury to the female genital organs. FGMC is classified into 4 types. Female genital mutilation or cutting is usually carried out on girls between the ages of 4 and 12 years old in conditions that are unhygienic. According to the United Nations Conventions and Human Rights Laws, FGMC is an ancient ritual that represents an overt form of violence against women, especially against girls and children. Researchers consider the geographical origin of this practice to be around the River Nile in ancient Egypt. According to a UNICEF report, FGMC is mainly prevalent in 29 countries in Africa and a few other countries. Based on UNICEF's annual report, about 130 million women and girls around the world today have undergone one form of female genital mutilation or cutting, with about 2 million procedures performed every year. The types of FGMC are shown in the image.
Reasons and justifications for FGMC. The reasons given for FGMC are tied to the communities where it is practiced, often justified by tradition, customs, and ideology. Preserving virginity, defending family honor, complying with religious requirements, health, beauty are some of the reasons given, but the root causes are religious and Sharia justifications, lack of awareness, low literacy, poverty, male-dominated culture, and misconceptions about purity, hygiene, and beauty. Circumcisers. They are mostly women with no medical training, relying only on experience gained over the years. They use razor blades, scissors, or knives to cut. Consequences: pain and infection, childbirth complications, urination difficulties, difficulty with sexual intercourse, greatly reduced sexual pleasure, and various psychological and mental traumas are some of the consequences of female circumcision.
Female genital mutilation or cutting, FGMC, in Iran. The results of the study, In the Name of Tradition, and a documentary film titled In the Name of Tradition, show that female genital mutilation is still prevalent among Shafi Sunnis in parts of Hormuzgan, Kermanshah, Kurdistan, and West Azerbaijan provinces in Iran. The purpose of this study was to comprehensively investigate female genital mutilation or cutting, FGMC, in Iran between 2005 to 2015.
Legislation. In Iran, FGMC is not unusual but is ignored by the state, relevant ministries, and organizations. Therefore, combating FGMC is difficult. Iranian law does not explicitly mention FGMC. Iranian law does not protect women from cutting, but some laws can be used to prosecute and punish mutilation of the body. Results of the study In the Name of Tradition. The results of the In the Name of Tradition study in 2016 show that FGMC is still prevalent in some parts of Hormuzgan, Kermanshah, Kurdistan, and West Azerbaijan provinces. In some villages on Qeshm and Hormuz Islands in Hormuzgan province, the rate is 60%, and in Persian villages, the lowest rate is 31%. Kermanshah province ranks second. In some villages in Pave, the rate is 51%. In Kurdistan and West Azerbaijan provinces, the rate is relatively low.
The changing paradigms of FGMC. 2 years after the research team's educational interventions in the target areas, they returned to assess the impact. The new survey showed that the female genital mutilation or cutting rate is declining in all 4 provinces. The interventions were conducted on 2 levels. First, research assistants held face-to-face educational sessions for groups of women and men to raise awareness about the physical and psychological consequences of FGMC. Second, they engaged with religious leaders and influential figures to gain their support in prohibiting female genital mutilation. The results of the Changing Notions study showed that women's awareness of this issue has increased and they are no longer willing to circumcise their daughters. Some clerics and local influential people were also convinced to oppose this practice. The passing away of traditional circumcisers due to old age and lack of successors also contributed to the declining rate. The current study shows that despite despite being traditional, Iranian society is receptive to change. The tradition of FGMC still exists in Iran, but the rate is declining every year. The three western provinces, Kermanshah, Kurdistan, West Azerbaijan, have shown remarkable improvement in this regard. But some parts and villages of Kermanshah, including Uraman, and also some villages in Kamyaran, Ravansar, and Pave in Kermanshah province, and southern coastal areas and islands of Hormozgan have shown resistance.
Solutions. Fighting this harmful traditional practice requires comprehensive cooperation in learning from global experiences, including 1. Legal, health, and educational measures by the government to prevent and combat female genital mutilation or cutting. 2. Support from clerics and religious influencers in speaking out against FGMC and issuing religious decrees about its harmful nature. 3. Strategic planning for using media to combat FGMC. 4. Increasing health and psychological awareness. 5. Empowering NGOs and civil society to culturally mainstream and raise awareness about FGMC.
The free and online version of this book is now available on Kameel Ahmady's personal website, as well as on Google Play, Google Books, and Amazon platforms.